So I lost a bit of footage when I first got started, but ultimately the carve was complete, and right now I've got a bit more time in the shop, so I am mixing up some black epoxy. So I haven't done a ton of epoxy projects, but I've been using a epoxy from Let's Resin, and so far it's been working great. I like it because it came as a kit, had a little bit of everything to get started, including some very fun pigment colors. So that's what you see me using here is uh, they're a black um, galaxy um, color, I believe it's called. So I'm just using the stir stick to help make sure that the epoxy gets down into the grooves that I want it to sit in, and just making sure it fills those voids. You will see me come back with the black color a few different times, and that's just making sure that the actual channels are full of epoxy up to the top of the MDF. And that's just because the MDF is porous and will absorb some of the epoxy. It's not a ton, but it definitely absorbs some. So you do need to make sure if you're trying to make um, a flat surface, you're trying to come up to a certain level, you will have to probably come back and just fill the epoxy a little bit more as you go. So now I've got the black all complete, and I've mixed up some purple epoxy, and I'm just pouring that into the pockets for the name. You'll also see I come back with the black and just touch up some of the areas as the black epoxy is sat a little bit longer. Um, it has settled into the MDF a bit, and I'm just touching those up. I've also got these little silicone molds. I have yet to do much with them, but when I have extra epoxy, I do pour them into this with the intention of doing something with them later. So far, I haven't done that, but maybe one day I will make a necklace or some earrings out of some of the pieces that I have in the molds here. And here I'm just, like I said, touching up that black, just making sure that it comes up to the top of the cut line so that it's nice and flush with the MDF. All right, so as I finish up that pour, I'll let that sit for a little bit. I'll come back and I'll hit it with the torch just to pop any bubbles that might have formed. As I'm using colored resin, it's not as important that I pop the bubbles. It's just kind of fun to watch them pop, so I like doing it. And then I'll let this harden and we'll do some more cutting.